Mercury retrograde for a Capricorn rising. Let's get into it. Okay, so we got to unpack a lot of things. Mercury is home in the third house. However, it is not comfortable in the sign of Pisces. Words. So Mercury is known for details, facts, focusing on all the little things, communication. But Pisces is very much about dreamy energy and like not being fully there, being a little bit more detached. So you having your third house in Pisces naturally tells me that you are very creative, you're very intuitive. The way that you communicate, it's like ethereal and magnetic. However, Mercury retrograding here, even though it's home, it's a little muggy. So Mercury, when it's retrograde, forces you to go back. It brings people from the past, it delays things, it forces you to slow down, take a second look. However, in Pisces right now is the sun, the north node, Venus, and then Mercury is going to be retrograding. And in a few days, on March 3rd, Virgo is going to have a full moon that opposes all of this. So let's unpack it little by little so it can make sense. Now, the third house rules communication, short travels, siblings, your way of thinking. So it being on Pisces, you're already familiar with this energy. However, what may happen is that you may revisit old conversations. A lot of people from your past may come up to like resolve things that were left unsaid. Your communication might shift and you might find yourself feeling delayed or like not being able to get your point across, people not really connecting with what you're saying. Depending on how your relationship was with a sibling, it may either get better or there might be more miscommunication that makes it worse. Based on like Venus and the sun and the north node being there, it's giving more like reconciling with siblings or neighbors, things getting better, because a lot of these planets are really positive, and Mercury coming back is basically saying, hey, we need to look at this area, it's clearly not working, how can we improve it? Now, your writing projects will probably benefit from a second look. You're gonna be able to review anything that you may have missed, any typos. And I know it seems simple, but that's the beauty of Mercury coming back. It forces you to take a second look. And in this house is all about communication. So anything that you're putting out there, it could not hurt to take a second look. Mental clarity will come after reflection. So Mercury is going to slow you down, have you take a second look, think a little bit deeper, not so much the details, but also like, how is it feeling? Where is it going? So then clarity comes after that, which we love. You might meet new people locally, like maybe new neighbors, people you haven't noticed before. Because again, Venus being here tells me it could also be love in your neighborhood, but it's going to come with a little bit of illusion. It's going to bring people from your past, conversations that needed to happen. Maybe something you've learned, like a past course. You might have the time now to revisit and learn it and be like, what did I miss? So really, I think it's a very positive transit. You're just going to feel it more in like your mental acuity being a little bit different. Instead of being so focused and like, I got to figure it out, it's going to force you to kind of look back and question your own thought process and wonder like, is this really what I want? Is this what I want to convey? Is this what I want to communicate? Is this how I want these relationships to remain? Now, because Venus and the North Node are involved, it may also bring people that are meant to be in your life. It may attract a new love. You may also take a short trip that will reconnect you with a part of you, like something meaningful, right? It might be like, oh my God, I miss writing and I took this trip and all of a sudden I'm inspired. Or wow, I took this trip and all of a sudden I miss my sister and I called her and we reconnected. So anything that lives in this house, it was going to be revisited, is going to come back for you to take a second look. The negatives here, obviously Mercury retrograde delays and it forces you to look back, and it also makes it so the communication is a little off. So it being retrograde in Pisces means people might not get what you're saying. So misunderstandings, miscommunication, saying the wrong thing, feeling a little foggy and being like, why am I not conveying my point? For the next month or so, be really mindful of what you say. And I'm talking what you say in writing, so text, also emails to your boss or anything like that. What you say verbally as well, like make sure you're saying what you think you're saying. Technology might glitch because Mercury retrograde, but also this is your third house of communication. Anything that involves communication, like emails, posts, social media, text, writing, babe, double check. Also be okay with delays. Like if something is not really happening, if it's not sending, just take a pause, come back later. Another thing here, because this is the house of short travels, some of your trips might not happen. Some of your trips might get delayed. Be okay with revisiting the plan. Be okay with changing your mind. Be okay with changing the plan. Because remember, the North Node is here in Pisces, the South Node is in Virgo. When that full moon is illuminating Virgo, what we have to let go, and the sun, which is already in Pisces, is illuminating the North Node, what we're meant to embrace, You gotta let go of the details. You gotta let go of having to know, having it be fixed, having it all figured out, and just surrender to the fact that like it may or may not work, but it's in your highest good. So again, more Pisces nature of like, oh, it's all for a reason. You're supposed to lean in more into that. Mind you, with Venus, the North Node, the Sun, it's a really beautiful time to connect to like what feels good, what lights you up, like let go of having to know or things having to work out. So if a trip gets delayed, it's meant to. If someone's coming back in, notice, pay attention. I'm not saying go back to your ex or make up with someone who doesn't deserve it. I'm just saying if they're coming back, what are they showing you? What's coming up? What is changing in your way of thinking? Like, are you able to communicate something that before maybe you couldn't? I will say you may find yourself in a loop of overthinking, especially when the full moon is happening. Disconnect, babe. Disconnect from your brain. If there's gossip, tune it out. Because honestly, it might increase for a little bit. And if there's anything you have to sign, any contracts, any documents, sleep on it, take your time. Basically anything that has to do with writing, communication, thoughts, anything that's like permanent in writing, babe, take your time. Specifically for you, trust me, take your time. Now I'm gonna make more videos once the full moon is getting closer because I feel like there's so many massive transits happening this year that I kind of got to break them into chunks to make sure that I don't overwhelm you with information. Now, if you're like me and you're someone that likes to understand for yourself, I'm actually hosting classes right now for beginners. The link is in my bio. And we kicked off this past Sunday talking about the basics. Now we're about to dive into the signs. So if you want to understand, okay, what is this Pisces energy? What is this Virgo energy? What does it mean to be a Capricorn rising? That is the class for you, babe. And if it's not, that's okay. Just comment here. Let me know how this landed. If you have any more questions, if I should go deeper. But this Mercury retrograde is going to last about a month. The full moon is on the 3rd, so just a few days away. This is just part of all the incredible transits that are happening this year. These are massive because some of them are like once in a lifetime type of transits. And I will say this eclipse season, why can I say that? This eclipse season that we've been having in Virgo and Pisces, that's been like the last 2 years in these two areas of your life, right? Because it's an axis. So it's not just hitting your 3rd house, it's also hitting your 9th house. Now in the 9th house is what you have to release, in the 3rd house is what you have to embrace. And notice that the nodes are going to be moving this summer to Leo and Aquarius, so whatever needs to be wrapped up in this area of your life, whatever lesson you have not integrated, whatever you haven't embraced, this will be the season that's going to force you to do that between the eclipse, full moon that's happening, and this transit right here where Mercury is going to go retrograde. So let it fall away, embrace the new, and let go of perfection a little bit. Hope this helped. And also, side note, just like I've been saying all the wrong words and things are not conveying properly, you might experience a little bit of that yourself. Because again, communication, retrograde, Mercury, be okay with saying the wrong thing and it still being okay.